We live.
Oh, we are.
We live.
Hey, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Love and Marriage Podcast. I'm your host, Wendy O. This is my co-host, Hotep Jesus. How are you doing tonight, Hotep?
I'm doing quite marvelous, dear. Just got off my chess stream, my other channel, Hotep Chess, and tonight we did blindfold mating 2. Pretty difficult type situation, but still fun and exhilarating and challenging. But yeah, how things been with you?
It's good. Thank you so much for not ghosting me tonight.
Listen, I was telling Wendy. I said last week, I bought the Spider-Man video game, and I was done with my chess stream. And during the chess stream, the only thing I could think about was playing Spider-Man. So as soon as I got off my chess stream, I turned the PS5 on, started playing Spider-Man, and then like I checked my DMs at like 11 p.m. and I was like, oh shit, today's Wednesday. Totally forgot I had a fucking show. Who does that? Like, I had to like really like check myself after that. I'm like, dude, you're falling off hard, bro. You forgot you had a show on your own channel. Like, where are you, bro? Cause I've really been. I got to be honest with you. I've been in a very dark place recently.
Okay.
Very, very dark place. Um, you know what threw me off?
What?
Publishing my book completely threw me off.
Well, what? Well, okay. First off, why are you in a dark place?
That's because of my book, right? Like
Okay.
I'm a creature of habit. Like whatever my routine is, that's what I'm going to do, and I usually stick with it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so when I was working on my book, I had this like really regimented routine, right? To keep myself focused on finishing the book. So when the book was done, my life was like it lacked the structure, because now I wake up, what do I do now? So now I had to like restructure my life to give it purpose again. So for like 2 weeks I was floating around with no purpose. And the funny thing is, it shifted from the book to, Hotep Nation Weekend. So I was working on Hotep Nation Weekend, and Hotep Nation Weekend came and it went, and then it was done. And now I'm like, what do I do with my life? I was living without purpose. So I got almost like depressed. I was like depressed. I was like, yo, what the fuck do I do with my life now? And I lost all types of ambition, but I'm back now. I'm back, and PlayStation 5 saved my life.
Are men allowed to get depressed?
No,
Okay.
no, we're not.
Okay.
And I was in that depressive state, and I was just like, all right, so how do we get out of this funk? And it was like PlayStation 5, perfect. So it kind of just gave me that escape to just relieve myself of all guilt that I had, and now I'm doing better now. I still don't have any purpose. And then the other thing is the baby, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like we got the baby now. So like you can't even stick with a schedule because you don't know when she's going to fuck your schedule up.
That's true.
And then my lady, she's got meetings, and you don't know when she's going to have a meeting. And I'm just like, all right, so now it's my turn to have the baby. So it's just like, I can't deal. I might need a nanny.
The good thing is that you're able to be there for your family when they need you.
Yeah.
So that's good. So you do have a purpose as a father and as a man and as a partner.
Right.
But I understand what you're saying. Is that something that you were working on so hard and you had a very strict schedule for? Because I'm the same way.
Yeah.
When stuff gets taken out from me, I go completely bonkers. I don't know what to do. So I think that you're going to find something to fill that void soon.
Yeah.
You'll probably partner with another company.
You think so?
I mean, that's
I
what
had
you.
a company reach out to me recently, and I wasn't excited to even like explore it.
I might know which one it is.
Okay, take a guess.
Was it a crypto company?
Yes.
If it's the one,
Crypto / Patreon type situation.
I actually like what they're doing.
Why?
So let me explain it to you.
Okay.
So what they're doing is, so normally
What's the name of the company?
Let's Go.
Yeah, them. Yeah.
Okay. So normally what you do with Patreon is you get your money and you donate, you help support different creators. That's fantastic. Patreon takes like 30%, right?
No.
Okay. Anyways.
They don't take anywhere near.
Okay. So this is the thing with this particular company. Yeah. So normally you would get your Patreon money and you'd give it and you would never get it back. But with this particular company, it allows your people to support you by donating money, but they're staking it. And what that means is so they're staking that particular cryptocurrency or whatever it is they want to stake. So they're earning passive income on that donation and you get to keep the donation.
They're earning passive income on the donation?
The person that is donating to you gets to earn passive income because they're staking it. It's like a pool that goes into.
They're investing.
Yeah. So, but the cool thing about it is because they were going to give that money away anyway, so they at least get to earn passive income on it. And it's like a cool little community. I might end up doing more of them. I did a review for them.
I don't want to work with a company unless they're going to put me on the cap table. I'm an equity guy. I'm not here for a couple of fucking $1,000. I'm here for a fucking billion, man.
It's for your community, though.
My community, like, I don't want them to give me money. Like, I hate the fucking model of, hey, pay me for my content. I'm not even a fan of that shit. Like, I'm not a fan of that.
It's not about you, though.
This is what I do. You want information, I sell my books. Like, I don't like the pay. I don't like content, pay gated content. I don't even like that business model.
People like to support content creators and it makes your community feel that they are
so just fucking invest in one of my companies.
You can do that. The thing is you can have different campaigns. So if somebody wants to
here's my problem. Let's Go, right, is going to build a multi-million-dollar, potentially multi-billion-dollar company off of my work. Then
tell them, ask for it to be for an advisor role.
Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, and I know they're not gonna give me the fucking equity stake, man.
Why wouldn't they?
Because I know how these fucking fuckers think, man.
This is crypto. Crypto's different.
These fuckers think the same, man. They're fucking
Crypto's different.
Man. They're the fucking same white liberals, man.
It's not white people. There's a lot of people from different
liberals. It's the same fucking people, man.
It's not.
I tell him put me on a cap table. He's gonna laugh at me, man.
Oh, stop. That's not true. Why?
I'm about to email him right now. Say, yo, only deals I talk about are cap table deals. If you're not,
well, first off, you don't go email like that. Say,
why not?
Because they're not going to know what cap table is. Ask for it. Say, I want to say.
They should know. Like, what founder doesn't know what cap table mean?
This is my industry. I know.
They don't know what a cap table is.
Tell them. Say I'm interested in setting up a call with you. Or interested in speaking about potential advisor roles.
Yeah, all right.
That's what I would do. Nice. The thing with the crypto companies is you have to tell them what you what you need to dictate to them. And the reason why is I'm not saying this company. Yeah. I'm saying most of these other companies, they reach out to me and they're like, I don't, and I'm like, no, this is what you need to do. I can't tell you how many companies I have advised behind the scenes.
Yeah. Because
they don't know what the fuck that they're doing.
Yeah.
Say, I want an advisory role.
Yeah.
Tell him.
I am. I just didn't respond to the email because I'm just like, you know what? I don't feel like.
No.
Because they ain't gonna fucking.
A Raider just messaged, so he says he has some info for us. So I'll get with him later, probably tomorrow, and ask more questions. But I think just say I want an advisor role. See what happens.
Yeah, because I got a huge fucking audience, man, and I can do a lot, but that's not my. I don't like being fucking added to the cap table as an influencer because that's not my strength.
You don't know that.
No, I'm telling you, my strength is my brain.
This is the thing when you get it added as an advisor, you get to help them make decisions. You get to give your input. Saying. That's what you want to ask for advisory position.
Right.
Okay.
That's my strength is being an advisor.
Well, tell them.
I don't even know what email address they sent that to.
I'll
What's the name of the company again? Let's Go.
Yeah.
And And the other thing is, I don't like doing dishonest work because, like, if I don't believe in your business model, I don't want to push it.
I think that you probably, I did a complete review of the project. I like the business model. I think it's really, really great. And the reason
I'm not a fan of pay gated content, Wendy. I'm just
okay,
not. I think this shit's corny. I think it's fucking whack.
You don't have to be a fan of it, but a lot of people are. A lot of people use Patreon.
I do have to be a fan of it if I'm going to be pushing it. I can't push something I don't believe in.
But let me finish. You're not a fan because I don't think you know enough about it. People will be using Patreon.
It's pay gated content. What's there to know about it, Wendy?
What's the issue? But what's the issue with other content creators getting paid for doing content, getting tips and donations?
I'm not talking about other people. I'm talking about me. That's what you don't understand. I'm not a fan of pay gated content.
We need to have a private conversation.
Do you realize I don't like making content? That's why I go live. I go live because I don't want to sit down and fucking make content. So now you want me to fucking make content for this fucking small community?
You don't make content you don't have to make content for them. You don't make, that's the thing. You don't make content. Literally people will go you have this little pool, this little community.
If you want to support Hotep Jesus, I have several companies. And what we can do is you can be added to the cap table of one of my companies. I'm not interested in being a thousandaire or a millionaire. I'm interested in being a billionaire. So if you'd like to support Hotep Jesus, you can invest in one of my companies. I don't want you giving me your little $100, your little $1,000. I need $20,000. I need $100,000. That's what I need. Don't send me your little shekels. I love the super chats, because that's supporting me for being here, my time for being live. I love that, but that's not pay gated content. If you got it, you got it. You love the content, go ahead and super chat. But as far as like being a GoFundMe type motherfucker, that's just not my swag.
That's not what it is though.
That's exactly what it is, Wendy.
It's not. Don't email them. We'll talk later. Don't email. We'll talk later. Do you want to know what I did on Monday?
What?
Or no, on Sunday.
What?
I filmed a Netflix documentary.
With who?
I can't say who yet.
How'd you do that?
They emailed me.
Who?
The producer.
Oh, word?
Yeah.
For crypto?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. When's that
coming?
So,
I don't know yet. They're going to let me know. I took a bunch of pictures, but because I get emails from people all the time.
Yeah.
And so he was like, oh, da, 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 da. And I was like, okay, fine, I'll come. And my best friend was supposed to come with me, but he ended up being with his man, so he couldn't come with me. So then I told my husband, I go, you have to come with me. Because normally he don't come with me to those things because whatever. But so he ended up coming. It was in a penthouse. I had a makeup artist. Everything was really cool.
That's dope, man. Congratulations.
Thanks. I hope it comes out soon. We'll see. It'll be cool. If it comes out, it'll be good. I can't wait to talk about, because everybody in crypto is like, I'm filming this, I'm doing this. It's like, no, you're not. Sit down, please. But, and then what else happened? But back to you and you're feeling down. I think you're going to find something to pique your interest, and it's going to come, but it might not be instant.
Yeah, I've discovered what it was.
What was it?
I'm just going to focus on the kids, man.
I think that's a good idea.
Focus on the kids in the next book.
What's the next book going to be about?
Patriot Report Part 2, Socialism and Communism. Yeah.
I think it's good. I haven't seen you block anyone recently.
No, I haven't had to. I've put myself, this year I was all about like elevating my game to the level where, I don't even get that type of energy.
That's good.
But I have blocked people. I just haven't announced it.
It's so funny. What I've been doing on YouTube, because I get a lot of aggressive males in my mentions, and what they'll do is they'll literally watch like 10 or 20 of my videos, and then they'll leave a nasty comment on each one. So I say something about their moms, and I block them.
You gotta be careful. They could get you suspended for talking about people's moms. I've seen it before.
Okay, I won't do that.
Yeah.
But
the other reason why I stopped doing it is because fucking everybody swagger jacked me, everybody started doing the whole Hotep Jesus, hey, you're blocked because of this, and here's your unblock fee, and it's just like, all right, you stole my swag, it's time for me to move on to the next thing.
I stole your swag for sure. Empowered me.
You're not the only one. There's a bunch of people that
I'm your host of the show.
You're allowed to, but once my style becomes ubiquitous, at that point it's time for me to move on. So now I write haikus. Now I'm waiting for somebody to jack my haiku swag. And then when they jack my haiku swag, I'll move on to the next thing. But I have to be a pioneer. I have to be a leader. That's my thing. So I'm waiting for people to jack my swag right now. Right, I write haikus when I respond to, or when I want to express myself. I express myself in haikus because it takes more energy. I emailed them.
Okay.
I said, I'm interested in being an advisor for equity in the company. Can we discuss that?
Perfect. Let them have. You're not allowed to think negative. When you think negative, or when you think no, then that energy transpires there, because you don't know. It might be a great opportunity. It might be something you actually do end up liking, and it might be something that is a good thing.
Yeah, I guess we'll see. I know how these crackers is.
I don't know if it's a white guy.
Then that's even worse. They're even more racist. The least racist people on the planet are white people, by the way.
Are they?
Yeah. How about
interesting?
How about damn facts?
Oh, people won't like that on the internet.
Well, it's the truth.
Well, they go around saying the opposite.
Who is this? I don't know who that is.
I've been seeing a lot of crazy stuff lately. I just don't. You know, when you think that you've seen like the craziest thing happen, and then more stuff happens, and you're just like you can't even make it up anymore.
Yeah.
I got to talk a little bit about the SEC really quick before we get in our first topic.
Okay.
The SEC is coming out saying Coinbase wanted to have a lending platform, or basically it's a lending platform of crypto. So you can go ahead and you can deposit stable coins, and they'll take those stable coins, they'll lend them out the same way that the bank does. Yeah. And they'll pay you 4 to 8% interest on those stable coins.
Right.
Well, the SEC came out and they said it's dangerous to do that. Stable coins are dangerous. Stable coins are heavily regulated, and they're backed 1-to-1 by every US dollar. So they don't print any more than the money supply of the US dollar. And you have to pay so much money to get these things licensed and regulated. So they're trying to say stable coins are bad and dangerous.
Stable coins are bad and dangerous? How is
Yeah.
How?
Because it's not actual fiat dollars.
It's crypto tied to it, though. Tied to the value of the fiat.
Correct.
Damn, they fucking us over good.
Does that mean? I mean, they're not volatile. They fluctuate generally between 98 cents and $1.02. So it does fluctuate, but it's not like a 10% drop. It's literally like a 2% increase or decrease.
Yeah.
But the reason why they don't want you to use these products is because they want you to use banks. They want you to go to a bank and use it. And then Gary Gensler, he looks like a PENIS, came out and he said, you should save $5. He's all, savings is important. You need to take $5 each week if you're 18 years old and put it aside. And then you need to put it in a 401k or an IRA. So by the time you retire, you have $130,000. Does that motherfucker not understand inflation? That $130,000 to be able to buy a goddamn carton of milk in 30 years?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, he understands that. He just doesn't want us to understand that.
So I had to talk about that because it makes me mad, real mad. But anyways, are you ready to talk about our first topic?
Let's do it.
Which one are we going to discuss? You want to talk about Nicki, or you want to talk
Nicki.
about? Okay. So we all know Nicki Minaj just came out in the news recently for being very outspoken, and I respect her opinion on that. Yeah. And I also really agreed with everything that she said about asking questions and not just following in line. But it came out that her and her is the guy her husband?
Yes.
Is it Meek Mill?
No.
For some reason I thought it was him. I don't know why. Who's her husband?
Nobody.
Okay. So okay.
It's
All
a
right.
nobody. He's not famous or anything like that. It's just some dude.
She married a no. That's kind of crazy because generally women in power would need to marry somebody that's also in power as well.
That's what I would have thought she would have did. I'm really
Right.
disappointed in some of the moves she's made.
I mean,
I thought really highly of Nicki. I thought that she would be more aggressive in going after movie roles, doing TV, and she has chosen to stay a music artist, marry this guy, when she could have married up or across. She married down. Yeah, I'm really disappointed in some of the moves she's made.
I mean, I'm not so disappointed with the career moves she's made because maybe she doesn't want to be an actress. Maybe she doesn't want to be. Maybe she wants to just be in music. Maybe that's what she likes.
Okay.
And she's excelled very well. Like she is the queen of like a lot of stuff in the music industry. She's done a good job.
She was queen. She's no longer queen.
Who's queen now?
It's probably between Meg and Cardi.
True. I like Nicki though. I liked her rap. I like her style a lot better than the other two. I felt like she was more intelligent. I've never really heard Meg talk too much, but I feel like Nicki was more intelligent than Cardi.
Nicki Minaj is more eloquent. She speaks better, right? I don't know if she's smarter than Cardi though. I couldn't tell you which either one of them is smart. If I had to take a guess, I would say Cardi's smarter than Nicki.
Interesting.
I have this theory that strippers are some of the smartest women on the planet.
Nicki was a stripper though, no?
No.
Was she a prostitute?
No.
Did she rob somebody?
Yes. No.
Okay.
No. Well, she could have, but when Nicki was younger, she was like a stud. She wasn't like. Yeah, she didn't turn like feminine until Cash Money signed her.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. But she was always a rapper. She was popping in New York City and Queens and whatnot. Her mixtapes were popping, but she was always just like pure artist. She wasn't a stripper or anything like that.
Okay. For some reason, I thought that she was.
Well, I mean, she acts like a stripper. And that's like another thing like I didn't understand about her career. You could go up and it's just like you still have to show your ass. Like after all the success you've made in the music industry and you still got to be naked, it's just like, where's your creativity? Where's your smarts? You know what I'm saying? Like, where's your business savvy to segue into the next investment or idea or project? It's just like, you kind of just want to be an entertainer. And it's like, if you see, entertainers are supposed to graduate into Hollywood. You look at any great artist, like Tupac, for example, graduate from the music game to the movie game. The movie game is way more lucrative. Ludacris, Ja Rule, 50 Cent. 50 Cent is, produces TV shows and he acts in them and he does Hollywood. Like that's the natural progression, and to stay an artist is like, why? There's not even that much money to make in the music industry from that perspective. You know what I'm saying? For all the work you got to do. Yeesh.
Maybe she likes it.
No,
seriously.
I don't think she's clever enough to move into the next thing. That's what I'm saying.
One of the things I will say is that she was one of the older artists and she has a massive fan base. And a lot of her fan base are men. And they like that type of performance. They will spend money. So maybe it has to do with that particular demographic too.
She's got a decent fan base. Her fan base grew up though. That's the problem. Those Barbs from like 10 years ago are like grown and have kids now.
The don't. And they're still out doing the same thing.
Yeah, but they are artists now. You know, like they have their artists now. Like, you know, they got Lil Nas X, and they got another male who cross dresses, and they've moved to Meg and all these other things. But I don't know. I looked at internet today, and it doesn't look like she got a strong fan base. They was on her head. Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's sad. Well, maybe
he said
you know,
even Cardi B was in Fast and Furious. Was she? See what I'm saying? I told you. I think Cardi's smarter than Nicki.
I don't know.
I
don't know.
I mean, 6 months of work. You know, maybe a week's worth of work, depending on the cameo and, you know, how big your role is, and you're getting a few million. It's just so much better in the music game where you're fucking getting paid pennies for streams, and then, you know, they say the money's at the show, right? But when you're at the show, it's like you're still having to trade your time for money. And it's, you know, it's hard work. You know, it's hard work. Performing, it's hard work. You know, it's a full day, technically.
What about Beyonce? Does Beyonce do movies?
Beyonce has done Etta James. She's done.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
She's done. I mean, she's got a lot of roles. She did the hip hopera. She's done a lot of roles. So yes, she has.
But Beyonce did her stuff like back in the earlier 2000, like 2000.
After she blew up, she went into Hollywood. Yeah.
I know, but she still makes music though. That's all. I'm just trying to understand.
But she's got that Hollywood credential. She made that Hollywood money. She makes music because she's the queen of that shit right now, and still is, right? Like, there's nobody better than Beyonce at making music, and she's one of the best performers too. Right. So she's at the top of her game. But again, I look at Beyonce as somebody who, like, you know, should have made. I don't understand why she hasn't made better investments. Or maybe she has, and they just haven't come to fruition yet.
Maybe she has, and nobody's talking about it. Also
true.
Because of who she's married to. Because you
have
to
remember she invested in a vegan company, and that flopped. You know, and then she has her Ivy Park label, which is a smart investment, and I think the RV Park thing will do big for her. I think that's a partnership with Adidas, right? So that's a good investment. You know, that's smart on Beyonce's team. Where's Nicki's thing? Nicki just, you know, where is that? You know what I'm saying? You know what happened with Nicki? I'll tell you what happened with Nicki. After Young Money, Cash Money broke up, she was lost. I really feel like she didn't know what to do. She didn't have that crew and that backing anymore. And then that's when she ran to Meek Mill, and then she had to fall out with Meek Mill. Well, no, I'm sorry. She broke up with Safari first, and Safari was writing her lyrics, I believe. And after she left him, the Cash Money fallout, I believe, happened. And then she didn't have that safety net. And then she moved to Meek Mill. I felt that was a good, decent relationship compared to her current one. Not compared to her current one. I thought that was a backwards move for her. I thought she should have gotten with somebody more popular, you know, like Kanye or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I couldn't see them together.
I couldn't, because I actually could watched. You see Jay-Z and Beyonce together?
Yes.
Okay, so I saw Jay-Z and Beyonce together way before they got together. I told people that was going to happen because it was a smart business move. And they didn't, I don't think they made that move out of love. I think that was a business move. I think that was an industry business move.
Well, that's why she's still with him.
Correct.
But anyways, with Nicki though, especially now
hold on. Somebody said Hotep telling she should have gone to Hollywood, Woketown. What you don't understand is that the two games are synonymous almost. If you in the music game, you in Hollywood. You dealing with the same people. It's the same thing. So if you've moved into the music game, you might as well do Hollywood. Don't separate the two like the music game or Hollywood is separate. They're not separate. They work together. Continue. My bad.
No, they do. They 100% do. It's all aligned, and they just go back and forth and do all kinds of stuff. Yeah. But the guy that she's married to, there's some pretty serious allegations against him.
Yeah.
Like, did she know about that before she married him?
I think so. I'm not sure. I couldn't tell you.
To me, that's crazy though. Like there's some things I would tolerate from a man. I would tolerate cheating. I would tolerate, some toss and pause, that type of stuff. But I wouldn't tolerate being with somebody who did something like that.
So let me give you the story that they're trying to pass around. Nicki's trying to pass around. She's saying that, first of all, it happened when he was 15. Second of all, he didn't actually do it, is what she's saying. She's saying that the two of them were in a relationship. The victim is saying they were never in a relationship. Again, so Nicki, I'm sure you could attest to this, is probably going off of the word of the guy she's dating. So if you're dating a guy and, there's some things that happen and you like him, you're going to make excuses. You're going to believe him, blah, 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 right?
I wouldn't.
Well, she's probably believing this guy, especially because it's apparently a childhood friend. Like, she's known him since childhood, right?
Oh, well, that makes sense that they're together then. I didn't know they were a childhood friend.
Right. So, wait, what were we talking about? I hate when I go off segues. My mind goes 30.
We're breaking down what's going on with Nicki and her man because there's some serious allegations against him.
Oh yes. Yeah. So 15. Oh, and he had served his time. But what they're saying is it was like a plea bargain. I don't know. But what she's saying is that because he served his time, it should be in the past and blah 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 blah. But also it's the type of thing, and there's some truth to this dilemma. You're in front of the judge for a crime you did not commit, but the evidence and the attorneys is stacked against you. If you go not guilty and you lose your case, you spend 30 years in jail. If you take the plea, you sit down for 2 and you come home, right? Now, there's a lot of men and women, I'm sure, in jail based upon the fact that they were pushed to take the plea bargain because they couldn't afford proper representation. So this is a known thing. So she's using that as an excuse for him as well. So she's got all her excuses together. Here's my issue. The nigga served his time. What he did, some bullshit. If he did that, I don't know what that's like to force yourself on a woman. I don't know what that's like, right? Somebody that's you not with, and you know what I mean? I don't know what goes through somebody's head that says, "Hey, I'm just going to push myself on you," right? It seems like some weirdo shit, you know what I mean? I don't know what's going through his head. So if he did in fact did it, he should burn in hell. Okay. But he served his time, right? I think he did 7 years or something like that. I don't know what he did. He did his time. So why is it coming back up now? Well, they moved to I believe LA, somewhere in California. He didn't register as a sex offender because that's what he's supposed to do. When you move, you have to say, "Hey, I moved. Here I am. Put me on the list."
Is it forever?
I think so.
Okay.
I think it's forever. So yeah. So he was supposed to be on the sex offender list out in California. Apparently, he didn't file the paperwork, and then I guess that's a violation of probation or some shit like that. I don't know. No. I think that put him on probation or gave him a parole officer. I don't know. It's messy.
Okay, so there's a couple things to note here. Is this somebody that she knew growing up with, which makes sense because since she didn't marry up or horizontal to the side, whatever, make it equal, then that makes sense why she's with somebody that she grew up with, because she probably trusts him, because she can't just be with any average person because people are trying to be out for your money and do all this crazy weird stuff. So that's probably why she just felt comfortable. So there's that aspect. There's also another aspect that he was 15 years old. I'm not co-signing his actions as a 15-year-old, but
right.
He was technically
a minor.
He was a minor. And I don't know this woman. I don't know her story. And then you have them together, it getting called out because she's so famous. And then you have your scenario with a lot of people just end up doing a plea because, or just like, for example, there's been a couple athletes that what they would do is they would not plea to anything. They would just pay the person off regardless if it was true or not.
Right.
Because it's cheaper to pay somebody off than to have to go to
attorneys.
Not only that, but two, it's just a big mess. And then other things get brought up. It's very, very messy. So there's all those different aspects into it. So I actually kind of feel bad for Nicki. I feel like she's a victim right now.
You feel like she's a victim?
Yeah, it's kind of just, I feel sad for her because I mean, I would just wonder if she knew or not. Like, that's the thing, because I mean, the part I feel bad about, maybe she didn't know. But then too, at the same time, she is such a status that why would she be with somebody that she knew was going to cause drama and bring heat?
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, why would she even put herself in that situation if she knew, right?
So it's there's just some things that are weird, and it's like, where were her PR? Where were her people telling her this is not a good idea publicly? Like, this is not good. Like me as like if I was to do PR for somebody, I would say, like, this is good. Talk about this, or do this. Don't. This is not. And like, unfortunately, if you look back at the royals. And I'm talking about royals from every different type of society. If you look back at them, they were told, even especially like the European royals, like the people from England or wherever the fuck, they were told who they could and couldn't marry because it would look bad publicly. And they were not allowed to be with the person that they loved for that reason.
Right.
So I don't know, maybe she thought that she would be able to slip and do what she wanted to do because she's Nicki Minaj and it's 2020 or whenever the hell they got married, but it's not playing out in a good way for her.
Yeah, I can see that. That makes sense. Okay. I just I don't feel bad for I don't feel bad for Nicki though.
I do.
Why? Because you think because she's a victim in this situation?
It's not that she's a victim. I just feel bad for her because she's probably, like, I didn't know about Young Money breaking up and all that other stuff happening, etc. But what I feel bad about is that she lost her rap family. She lost her industry family. Those are her people. Yeah. And generally men in the music industry, if they have a set of women or a female artist they work with, they protect you at all costs. Like it's almost like you're their property in a way. I know that's kind of sounds weird, but like, for example, when I used to hang out with my ex, and we would, I met all his friends. Even after he and I broke up, I would go hang out with his friends, or I'd be somewhere I saw his friends. His friends would protect me. We're very, very protective of me. It's almost like you're property of somebody, but it's just them protecting you. So she probably lost all that support, that love, that protection. And so she just decided to be with somebody that she trusted from growing up, from the neighborhood. And that makes sense because, people are probably out there trying to take advantage of her, and she's probably just lonely. And I feel bad for her in that aspect. But
yeah, I that's what I really feel sorry for is the breakup of Cash Money and Young Money. I felt really bad for her at that point. But I thought that she would be stronger and smarter in the move she made. Like, just because that situation fell off didn't mean you had to go run to another man. Like, I hate women that, they break up and the next thing you know, they got to run to another man. Like, women love to break up and then run to another man, right? To like, can you be by yourself? Is that even possible for you to be by yourself? Or women always need a man around, you know what I'm saying? Like, and especially somebody like Nicki, like,
The difference between Nicki and a regular woman is because she was so used to having male protection and having men kind of guide her, write for her, produce for her, do everything for her. So she relied on, and I don't know what her home life was growing up with her dad. I don't know what that situation is, but she was so used to having men be there for her and kind of dictate to her, dictate what she does. Yeah. So that's why she was probably looking for another man. She couldn't find one. So she went ahead and got with this old dude that she grew up with or grew up around to fill that void, to feel protected and safe. Because women want to feel protected and safe.
Yeah, that too. True. It just doesn't spell sense to me.
I don't know.
I just feel like I think she just got with this guy because she's attracted to thugs.
There's a lot of other good-looking thugs out there that haven't done weird stuff.
Sure. And another thing is too, like I remember being in the music industry. It gets lonely. So when you see somebody or you reunite with somebody that you knew from your past, it's refreshing and it gives you solace because the industry's fake. It's really, really fake, and you want that familiarity around you. You feel comfortable with the familiarity around you. You feel like you can trust because you don't know who's, like I'm Hotep Jesus. I don't know who's getting next to me just to leech off my success, right? Like if you knew me before Hotep Jesus, like and you was rocking with me, then you really rocking with me. But if you came when I'm Hotep Jesus, you kind of got to prove your loyalty to me before I could even take you serious. You know what I mean? I feel like you're just around to leech off my success. That's why I don't even trust a lot of people around. I don't keep nobody around me.
I don't blame you.
Except for my Glock. My Glock and my fam. That's all I need. And I got a great team around me, outside of my immediate team. But all those guys have proven loyalty, and I've proven loyalty to them. So that, outside of that, it's just like when you have new, it's a sticky situation. I remember being, at industry parties, and dudes who was in my office, and we had several meetings, and we was shooting the shit. You get to the event party, and they walk in, and they act like they big shit. You know what I'm saying? And they act like they don't see you. You know what I mean? So I act like I don't see them. And then after nobody greets them as the star they think they are, now they want to approach me and say, "Hey, what's up, B? What's going on?" It's like, "Yo, what's up?" Like, you thought I was going to run up to you and dap you up? No, I was here at the party. You pulled up. You see me. Why you ain't come say hi? You know what I mean? People who used to just come up to me just because I was connected to 50 Cent and wanted stuff and girls. And I used to have my assistant be like, "Yo, talk to my assistant." And I used to tell my assistant, just give him a run around. Like, you know what I'm saying? But when I was in the industry, man, this shit was like, it was really lonely and fake, man. Everybody was just so fake, man. It just made my stomach turn. That's why I got out.
I don't blame you. I get a lot of that in my industry too. I get people that will ask me if they're all cool with me. They ask me for something, I do it, and then they throw me under the bus, blame me for it, and then they trash me, and then they come back, "Hey, Wendy, can you do this?" And I'm just like, I don't even associate with them because I don't have patience for it. There are so many people that I have cut out that I don't do stuff for that have asked me. So many people, or they come to my events, they do that, and then they want to come for me on the internet. It's like, no, please go.
Yeah. Anarcho Booth, $2 super chat. He said, Jay-Z and Beyonce equals Hillary and Bill Clinton. Jabari Allen, $5 super chat, said Big Pharma called up her husband's accuser ASAP after Nicki's statement last week. That's what was kind of weird to me. Now, a lot of people said, hey, the victim has been speaking up for a while now. And I'm like, yeah, but she wasn't scheduled for TV until a week after Nicki Minaj comes out. And some people are saying Nicki Minaj came out to talk about the jabby because the suit, because they filed a lawsuit on the 13th. So they're saying that she did the whole jabby as a PR stunt to distract from the fact that the victim filed a lawsuit.
It very well could be. Me personally, though, but this victim, did this victim come? Was it a new victim?
No, same one.
Then why is this old victim coming now?
They're saying that she's been talking for a couple of, I guess, at least for the past year. I know for a fact, right? Like I've seen written interviews, people ask her questions, and she's spoken on this.
I don't know. I just.
It's definitely something fishy. I don't know what the victim wants, right? I just think it's funny that she got on TV the week after Nicki did that.
All I have to say is, like, I'll talk about different things that the wrongdoings people did to me, but I would never out their names.
Really?
I wouldn't.
Why?
Because it happened 20 years ago. Why would I out their names?
You think time makes a difference?
I'm not around them anymore, so it's not my problem.
What if you were?
I would tell them to get the F away from me and to stay away from me. And if they came near me.
What if they were near somebody you know?
If they were near I wouldn't publicly say it, but if they were near somebody I knew, I would then say, hey, da-da-da-da-da.
Isn't that like protecting them?
Who?
By not outing this person?
No, I'm protecting myself. They've already done enough to me. It's protecting myself.
How are you protecting yourself?
Because I don't want to deal with it.
It's like rehashing some old shit, and now you have to relive it. And
yeah, because it's like, okay, it happened. It's not that it was okay. It was still wrong. But at the same time, too, I've already been through enough. So why am I going to sit here and out their names and like bring it up and just rehash this whole thing? Even if they were celebrity or famous, I still wouldn't, just because it's just not. What is that going to do? Because at the end of the day, what happens is a lot of times the women that go out and speak up and say something, they get attacked. They get blamed for it. They get called liars. They get gaslit for it. So to me, that's really not worth it. And
so you're bullied into silence.
I don't want to. It's me personally to where I don't really. It's not an issue. Like I've moved on and I forgave.
But you can't use that as an excuse. The fact that you'll be bullied, right? Either you're doing it because you forget. If you've forgiven a person, all right, fine, that's on you.
Then I forgive them.
Okay, but
to an extent,
you can't say the mob is bullying me into silence, because that's a problem.
But it's something that happens, and it's a real thing.
It does. It absolutely does.
So to be
and
honest,
this is why I say false accusers should go to jail.
They should. 100%.
False accusers make it 10 times harder for real victims.
Well, this is what it is. The reason why it gets hard is because, number one, the false accusers make it hard for real victims. Number two, some men will still be friends with the men that did that, even though it's been proven to be true. Because I've been around it. I've seen it happen. I've seen it happen. And then it becomes to where after it's happened and after the person named names, then people like forget about it. There's so many celebrities that did terrible things that didn't even really apologize for it, that are still given clout, and there's still people pay to see them and do whatever. So it's really it's a society problem. It's a problem with society and our standards.
Standards, yeah.
Because there's a guy on crypto Twitter, he threatened physical violence against me, and everybody was sticking up for him. They thought it was so funny. They thought it was a joke. It was not a joke to me. And when I came out and I said something about it, people got mad at me, and people are still friends with him, and they don't see it as an issue. They don't see it as an issue because they have a personal problem with me. They don't like me, and that's fine. You don't have to like me. But at the same time, if a man is coming out and threatening physical violence or saying that's going to be a problem.
Threatened physical violence.
Yes.
My retaliation for that would get my YouTube account suspended. I can't even say it. Like, imagine if somebody would have did that to my woman. Oh my Lord, Jesus Christ! I pray for that individual. I really do. That's
what I'm saying is that when I screen captured, I posted it, and I said if this was your girlfriend, your wife, your mom, your it would be a problem. It's not okay for someone to speak to somebody else that way. But when eventually he will probably meet my husband at one of these events, and
Oh yeah.
And he will probably never speak badly about me again.
He got to put hands and feet on that man. I wouldn't even have a conversation. It wouldn't even be a conversation.
There wouldn't be, the thing is there wouldn't be a conversation because even though he's not active, he observes what's going on. Mm-hmm. So there would not be a conversation, unfortunately, because whatever. But anyways, the last topic I want to touch
on. I'm getting angry thinking about like the fact that he thought it was cool to threaten you with violence. Like that shit not cool, yo. Like,
well, it's because
I gotta calm down. Hold on a second, yo. Who the fuck thinks that's cool to threaten a woman with violence on the internet? Who the fuck thinks that shit cool? What's going through your mind to think that's cool?
Because I'm a scammer. Because I'm a scammer and they don't like me. That's why they think it's okay. And it gets co-signed and it gets spun into that. Well, Wendy's this and Wendy's that. So this is just a joke. This is funny. And then they had to clean it up and say, oh, this was just a joke. I didn't take it as a joke though. As somebody who's gotten it,
you don't joke like that.
You don't. As somebody who's been in physical altercations with men, I don't take it as a joke. As somebody who's been jumped by men and women, it's not a joke. When you say stuff like that, even if it's on the internet, it's not a joke. Yeah. It's not. It's just really not. But it's part of the deal. But the good thing is, he don't get no
women either, do he?
Oh hell no, he has to pay for sex.
Yeah, I can tell. Yeah, it's always those types that like hit women and rape women.
Mm-hmm. It is. But our last topic.
Mm-hmm.
Do men marry the woman they love or the woman that is there?
Oh, men.
Yes.
Oh, man, do women marry for convenience or love?
Oh, that's fine. Well, fine. That's fine. We can talk about that and do the other one.
Let's do both.
Okay.
All right, let's do the first one. You said, say that again. Do what?
Do men marry for love or for convenience?
Well, betas marry for love.
Mm-hmm.
Beta males marry for love, right? Because they're like, oh my God, I want to be with you for the rest of my life. I was like that at one point when I was young and naive and thought women were fucking, and then I got cheated on. And the moment I got cheated on, it completely like changed me.
How old were you?
Let's see. My first girlfriend cheated on me at 16. Well, she didn't even exactly cheat on me. She just like did some shit that was like borderline. She was just a dick. So that started it, right? Like I remember one time I was super young. This is back when I thought that like, it was all about love and romance, right? So I remember I left my house. I walked 2 miles to her house to walk her to school, and she got pissed off because she just wanted to walk to school with her friend. So she made me like walk behind her, and the whole way I'm like, yo, is this bitch crazy? And I'm like, yo, yeah, I'm like, this is so weird, right? And then the whole time she was talking about how another dude was flirting with her and she liked it. And I'm walking behind her like, she think this shit cool? Like, what the fuck? So I'm like, all right, say less. I know how to handle this. So that started my cheating ways. Like, she was the reason why I became a dog. So I'm like, all right, bitch, watch this. So I kissed one of her friends. Her friend came to me and was like, y'all want to kiss you? I'm like, all right, let's kiss. So we kissed. So I was like, oh, this is cool. This is fun. I'm a cheater now. I love it. And then
sorry. That's like it's so junior high-ish.
Yeah. Women ruin men. I don't think people know that.
They do, though. It's 100%.
Women turn men into dogs. Every man that cheats, is a man that had his heart broken by a woman. That's
including their mothers.
Also including mothers, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then 17, I was with this girl and we were together and we had just copulated, and then she was like, I got something to tell you. And as soon as she said it, I knew what she was about to tell me. So she was like, I cheated on you with my ex. And I was like, okay. Like, fine, right? Whatever. So I didn't affect me. I can't tell you why it didn't affect me at the time, but it didn't affect me, okay? So she started crying because I said, so my reaction was, I was like, okay. So she's like, what does that mean? I'm like, it just means we're not together anymore. So she started breaking out crying like, no, I want to be with you. I'm like, what? You cheat on me? No, I'm not going to be with you. What is wrong with you? And then I got cheated on again. And I said, you know what? I'm going to be a nigga for life. You know? So I tried being a nice guy. You know, I was a nice boy once upon a time. And women ruined me, you know, by just doing dirty, nasty shit behind my back. And I was like, you know what? Fuck all these bitches, you know? So no, I'm not fucking marrying for love. I'm marrying for logic. Like, logically, it makes sense. Because we have kids. Okay. I'm so broken by life that I no longer have like emotional attachments, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't know what it's like to have an emotional attachment anymore. Like, I've just reached a level of not giving a fuckness. You know what I mean? That, like, it's like, I love you because I love you, right? But I don't believe in being in love. Like, I told you, you know, what love is, right? Love is basically understanding. Mm-hmm. When you understand the other person and you have a certain level of respect. So it's understanding and respect equals love. So I have understanding and I have respect. Now the whole like, ooh, I'm so in love with you shit, I don't have that. I don't feel that. Okay? The only person that's going to feel that is a beta cuck who still believes in that fairy tale.
You know, I agree to an extent. I agree to an extent. Because we, like, me and him, we're not like lovey-dovey, where it's like a partnership, it's like a team. It's like, yeah. You know, we respect. I still get loud a little bit.
Oh, we know you do. We know you do.
I still get loud, but it's more of like, okay, we're gonna do this, da 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 da. So it's not like lovey-dovey romantic stuff. Yeah. It's not that type of love. But I don't know if he's capable of giving that type of love anyways, because he's always been very like very alpha. Like, yeah, he did literally sweep me off my feet, but it wasn't like a lovey-dovey thing. It was like, you're like, I like what I see, you're mine, I'm taking it. That's what it was. It was like some primal stuff.
Yeah, it was mate selection. Mm-hmm. Right? Yeah. It definitely. See, I don't think women marry for love either. Women marry for convenience, absolutely.
I feel like we got married, like I feel like it was love and convenience with us, because everything was just like, we had been together already. We had already been through so much. We were living together and whatever. So I think it was both. I think it was because we both knew like love and or understanding and respect. Mm-hmm. And then it was convenient. Like, his whole family, just the way his brothers are, the way his mom is, the way his dad is, the way his whole entire family is, they're very convenience based, like very, very convenience based. Like, if it's there and they like it and it makes sense and it's not something that bothers them, they're okay with it. They're comfortable with it. Yeah. So, but I feel like men do not marry. They don't marry for love. It's for convenience. It's what's there, and they will not.
What about the fact they get pressured into it?
I feel like because it's there and they don't have to do anything, so it's just there for them. And it might not necessarily be with the woman that they love, but it's a woman that's there and that's convenient.
Western civilization doesn't produce a woman that can be loved.
It depends.
She would have to be raised by a foreigner.
I don't know. It honestly kind of depends. It really kind of depends, because even the women that are raised by foreigners, sometimes they are not. It really depends what culture they're from.
Right.
Because some of them it's just very different. Like, it's different cultures do different things. They have different expectations. Like, so I don't know. Like, I know, for example, Middle Eastern men, they will always, like, they'll mess around with all different types of women, but they will always come back and marry a Middle Eastern woman because it makes sense for their family. It's good for their culture. They marry inside, but they'll still go messing around.
Absolutely. Soda Royal Oats. Sure.
So,
yeah.
But I feel like women will marry whatever they can get their hands on most easily.
Then they go looking for the next one.
Depends.
Women date while they're in a relationship. I mean, think about it. You're with a girl, right? And you break up today and she's on a date tomorrow. How'd you have that date lined up?
That's crazy.
Because you had that lined up already. You kept that dude close enough so that if something went wrong, you had a backup plan, right? So what women say is, "Oh, I'm faithful. I tell guys I'm in a relationship, right? Okay, sure. But this guy likes you and you still communicate with him. That's unfaithful."
It is unfaithful, because having an emotional connection is cheating emotionally, kind of, sort of.
Yeah. So if you break up with me today and you back out on the market tomorrow or this week, you had that lined up already. Women date while they're in relationships. And women settle for the best that they can get. What they think is the best they can get. Right? They're very hypergamous. And they think to themselves, hey, if I can get this guy that makes 6 figures, why can't I get a guy that makes 7? And after they get 7, they're like, why can't I get a guy that makes 10? Right? But they're always trying to date up. And they're always looking at the guy that they got and comparing him to other men. And they're like, is this the best I can do right now? And if they feel like this is the best they can do, then they'll settle. Like, it's a game. It's like rolling the dice, right? It's like you roll a dice and it's like, let's say we're going 1 through 6, right? And you get 3 rolls and you get to keep your best roll, right? So let's say you roll a 5. Do you want to keep that 5 or roll again? Because if you roll again and you get a 1, you got to keep the 1 because that's your last roll. That's how women act. They go, all right, I roll my dice. I got a 4. Ooh, do I want to roll again and try to get a 6? Because I could end up with a 1. Or I could end up with a nothing and now I'm 40 and single and can't produce babies anymore, right?
That's damaged women. Women that are damaged will do that.
What?
Damaged women will do that. Regular women that are not damaged will not do that.
Explain, because I don't feel that way. I feel like that's
women that have been cheated on, women that have been wronged. Because, okay, let's face it. And now I'm kind of starting to come to the realization that you shouldn't date until you're like 16 or 18 years old, because I feel like kids are so immature. Yeah. And that was like the rule my dad had. You cannot date until you're 16 or wear makeup till you're some shit like that. Yeah. But the reason why is because like all the boys that I dated when I was young, they hurt me. They did terrible things. Yeah. And then that made me jaded and that made me just be a bitch, like just a bitch. So I feel like a lot of women experience that and they get hurt in like junior high or high school. And then they turn to be that woman that's always looking for something else while they still have somebody. And it just makes them be very bitter and gross. But I noticed that the women who didn't date in high school or in junior high, they don't do that. They don't do that. They like the pharmacists I used to work with, because all the pharmacists were super smart because they had to take all these math classes, even though all those people like used to Google stuff anyway. So I knew just as much as them. That's a whole nother story. But a lot of them were super math smart and super nerdy. So they didn't really date in high school and junior high. And so the first guy they met, they ended up marrying because he was there. And like, it was a good match. It was a good match for a lot of different things, but they weren't jaded and they're still happily married together with their husbands. So it's hurt women.
I could see that. Yeah. I think hurt is what changes people, because I used to be like this really just amiable good boy. Like I was really like a good boy, right? Like I didn't do drugs. I didn't smoke weed until I was in college. Yeah, I was like, and I got forced into it.
The privilege, the utter privilege.
I got forced into.
I was forced into smoking marijuana cigarettes.
I'm dead serious. Like they made me. All right, for example, I was with these two basketball player chicks, and we was hanging out at their house. I was waiting for my homie to get there, and they were from the hood, and they played basketball. So you know they're on the masculine side of things. So they were in the bedroom, two chicks. I went in there and I was kicking it, and they like, B, hit the blunt. I'm like, I don't smoke weed. I'm an athlete. You know, I don't do that. You're gonna smoke this weed. I'm like, yo, I don't smoke. Like I've never smoked anything a day in my life. So Shorty gets up and locks the door, and then she looks me dead in my face. She's like, yo, if you don't smoke this weed, we're gonna beat you the fuck up. And I looked at her like, and I'm a great judge of body language. I'm like, oh shit, she's serious. Like they really about to put hands and feet on me. And I'm like, if they put hands and feet on me, I'm fucking both of them up. Okay? Because they're girls. They're not about to just beat my ass. And I'm like, damn, I really don't want to beat a bitch up tonight. I really don't want to. I'm like, man, just hand me the fucking blunt. And that's how I ended up smoking weed. So you see how like bad people turn good people bad? So like I was completely ruined by my circumstances, but I was a really, really good boy. And my point of this is that I think there's a small segment of society who can enjoy love. And I classify them as amiable people. You know, you ever run into somebody who's just always nice for no goddamn reason? Like, even when people are mean to them, they're like, they still don't say nothing. Those people, when they have relationships with other people of the same personality type, they can enjoy love. But people who are scrupulous, unscrupulous, I really feel as though they are the ones least capable of love. Because when you're capable of bad behavior, sometimes what you do is you can't trust the other person because you don't trust yourself. Right? It goes back to the whole thing. You know, you think your partner's cheating because you cheating, right? Like you cheat, and now you're paranoid. Like, oh my God, what if they're cheating? Right? It's that whole thing. But two people who are amiable, like geeks. You ever see like a geek couple? I'm jealous of them. I'm like, look at you guys, just fucking, just in love, and just they never cheat on each other because they fucking love each other. Like that's the story.
They don't know how
of love. They don't even know how. And I was that at one point. Like I wouldn't even dream of cheating on my girlfriend. I was just in love. And then I got ruined by women. And it's just like, I wish I had my innocence back. And I didn't realize this until I had my son. And he's my twin. And I looked at him because he's just so nice and so amiable. And when people are mean to him, it destroys him. It like really like hurts his feelings. And he's not mean to other people, you know? And society, or I shouldn't say society, but the mean people around him is teaching him how to be around and how to be mean people. So we get ruined by others. And I just feel bad for him because I know one day he's going to end up a dog just like his daddy.
You know what, though? There's always a fight for power. And I'm not just talking about like the type of power everybody else is. It's energy. Everybody wants everybody else's energy. And that's why you see all these people that gear towards celebrities or gear towards people that have stature because they have energy. And that's why you see these women that go after these successful men, is because those particular men have this specific energy. And it's always, and this happens even when we're young too, because we crave something out, we crave energy outside of mom and dad's energy. And if we're not, maybe, I don't know if it's that maybe we're not getting enough energy from mom and dad, able to to feel comfortable and satisfied in what we need. But something gets fucked up along the line to where as we get older, we start reaching out to other people that we want to obtain some of their energy. And I don't know why. I don't really know what it means. It's kind of hard for me to explain it, but people are attracted to other people with energy. Women sleep with musicians because of that energy. Women will want to, and the same with men too. Men want to gravitate towards specific women. Like me, I'm an empath. So I get a lot of people that are in my business that want to be near me ever since I was younger. And I had no idea why. They wanted to be near me because I would care for them and I'd listen to them. I'd take care of them in the best way that I could. And so they'd want to take that energy. So they would deplete my energy for them. And I feel like that's what happens. And I feel like you just have to be careful who's trying to take your energy.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Rollo talks about this thing called genuine desire. And he's really, he's right about that. And he says men will usually stick by a woman who gives them genuine desire, who genuinely wants him, right? And the problem is when a woman cheats on a man, it destroys that for him. He now understands you don't have a genuine desire for him. You desire any fucking body, that you're attracted to. You don't really like me, because if you really like me, you wouldn't have done that. You know what I mean? So once that, so then what happens is men start giving their time to women who display a genuine desire for him. And so that's why you have some men who cheat, right? Because it's like the woman he's with doesn't provide a genuine desire, doesn't show and say, hey, I really like you. I really love you. I'm into you, nigga. You know what I'm saying? And because she doesn't display that, he's looking for that elsewhere.
I don't believe that to an extent, because you see a lot of really good women that will be with men and they will cheat. The men will cheat, just be hot messes. Like they're literally for the streets, but the women will stay, they'll cook, they'll clean, they raise the kids, they do everything. So I don't necessarily know if it's every case that that's what happens.
Again, do me a favor. This is one of my pet peeves. Nothing is absolute.
Okay, fine. Agree.
Never take something somebody says as absolute. There's always going to be outliers, and there's always going to be anomalies, and there's always going to be people that don't fit inside the cohort. And my pet peeve is when people take something I say and go, oh, it doesn't apply to all, so it doesn't apply. I didn't say it had to apply to all.
Right. Okay. I get that. But I feel like when you hear the women that say that these men are cheating on them, it's like a specific type of woman who's always there cooking and cleaning, doing whatever. But because you always hear about those stories.
Again, just because you cook and clean doesn't display genuine desire.
I guess.
That doesn't mean you desire me just because you cook and clean.
It's a different love language, though.
Cooking and cleaning is a prerequisite. Like,
Here we go.
It's like when somebody says, I take care of my kids. You're supposed to take care of your kids. I cook and I clean. You're supposed to cook and clean. You don't get bonus points for cooking and cleaning. That's baseline. Like, a woman who doesn't cook and clean isn't maternal.
True.
So, you're no good from there, period. Like from a man selecting a mate, he's selecting a mother, right? So if you don't cook and clean, you're not maternal. So you're not even you're not, you don't get extra points for that. The only reason why people get extra points for that today is because the bar has been lowered because so many women have stopped doing that.
They're hot Cheeto girls.
Yeah. Modern woman has stopped doing that. Right? So it comes back to genuine desire. Do you make your man feel like you really are into him? And if you can do that, you'll have a man that sticks by your side.
I can see that. I agree with that. People are so complex, though.
We are.
It's just it's hard to class. It's hard to give a specific overview as to why a person will do X, Y, and Z. Because everybody is so complex. There's so much. There's such a backstory with everybody. It is about finding that person that you can, I guess, relate with the best, or you feel most comfortable with the best.
Yeah.
And compromise.
Respect and understanding.
And compromise too.
Yeah. Well, compromise falls under the understanding umbrella.
I guess. Compromise and understanding. Yeah, because you can come to an agreement on different things. So I can get behind that. That makes sense.
Yeah, most people who don't want to compromise is because they don't take the time to understand the other person's dilemma or problem or issue or wants or desires. You have to first understand the person, and then you can compromise. That's like the first step to compromise. Otherwise, you're being compromised.
Yes, but men and women. So both men and women marry for convenience.
Outside of that small segment of people who can actually be in love because they've never been tainted.
I can get behind that.
I think that makes sense. I believe that once upon a time, we were all capable of being together for love. And then the first person cheated and then it ruined everything. Then it became a business.
Well, again, it goes back to with how you were raised from your parents. Were your parents good people? Did they pay attention to you? Did they provide what you needed? Did they give you that energy? And once there was a lack of energy or love or feeling wanted or needed, that's when people started acting out.
Anarcho Boo said HJ about to have death by snoo with them giant women. I don't even know what the fuck he's saying. Sketch Therapy said Latinas are a little sweeter. You have to kiss hello and goodbye, and they love to smell you, mostly to seek other women's smell, but it's flattering. Yeah, Latino women, Latinas, yeah, they're very nurturing and maternal and feminine in that aspect, yeah.
Until the chocolate comes off.
Until the chancleta comes off. And then you better duck.
Mm-hmm.
He said Hotep Senegal. Shout out to Ways of Talent podcast. What up, bro?
That's all I got for tonight.
Awesome conversation. Anything you want to plug? We're going to be here tomorrow night.
Oh, I actually want to hear what you guys are talking about tomorrow night. Sometimes I'll pop in for a second. I'll listen. I'll hear you yelling. And I'm like, I got to
go. Did you realize that? Oh, let me just read this tweet so you can understand. It says, as it scrambles to deal with Haitian immigrants at the border, the Biden administration is seeking a private contractor to operate a migrant detention facility at Guantanamo Bay. They about to send Haitian immigrants to Gitmo. Are you serious?
I have a question.
What?
Have Haitian immigrants always came? Like, have they crossed? Okay, so they've always crossed the border that way?
Yeah.
So why are we seeing pictures of this now?
We've seen pictures of it before. I think that what happened was the Democrats, when you start creating things like sanctuary cities and saying that, we're going to let the immigrants in, they see that stuff. Word spreads, so more come. So before it happened, it just wasn't as bad as it is now, where they're coming by the tens of thousands, because they're putting this message out like, come, please come. I mean, look at the whole campaign last year. The Democrats were saying, oh, it's evil what Trump is doing. He's building the wall. He's sending people back, right? And this is what Kamala Harris campaigned on. You shouldn't turn people away at the border. So when you hear a government say you shouldn't turn people away at the border, and then those people take power, you think it's a free-for-all on the border. Then Kamala Harris backtracks and goes, don't come here, go back home, is what Kamala Harris is telling these people now. But you created the crisis with your rhetoric.
I'm just so confused why, and this is not a jab at anybody besides the the regulated cartels. I'm not understanding if this panorama is so Detrimental. If it's so detrimental, why aren't our borders closed? I'm just trying to make it make sense, because if something's very bad and there's there's an additional 2-week time tacked on to travel where people have to punish themselves in the corner for 2 weeks. And when they go to different countries and do all these things, why is it that people can just cross the border so easily and it's not an issue? But when people want to actually travel for work or travel to do things productive, it's this big thing. So that's one other thing where I'm having issues making sense. And I'm also having an issue. I'm having an issue with the photos that are being put out with specific images. Because that don't make sense either. It's just very like,
what specific images?
The picture with the guy on the horse.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And everybody's fighting. First it's the WIP, now it's the reigns, and it keeps changing. There's all these things. Yeah. And I'm just like, and I know what they're doing. Like, I'm not saying that the mistreatment of any human being is right or wrong, because it's wrong. It's 100% wrong. What I'm saying is, I know what they're doing. They're pandering to a specific group of people to make them outraged and to make them, to cause a ruckus and to get emotions stirred up to deter from what's really going on.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I also feel that social media has come a long way, and that's also why we're seeing these images now, because these images have existed before. I mean, we've shared these images and just nobody cared, right? Because those people were black and brown. But, since we're become a more valuable political football, now it's something that people want to talk about.
Yeah, and I understand the conversation, but at the same time too, I feel like it's just people are just letting their emotions come into play so quickly without taking a step back and analyzing really what's going on and kind of just following the money, not only paying attention to the image, because that's important too. There's things that are going on that aren't correct, but at the same time, what bills are they pushing through? What meetings have they had? What correspondence is being done that isn't being covered by the media when they're pushing these images out?
Yeah, no.
Because to me, I don't know, that also becomes a problem, because it gets a little bit scary.
Oh, absolutely. Now I don't know how true this is, but it says Black Lives Matter is threatening an uprising against racist vaccine mandates. I don't know how true that is. I want it to be true. So we're going to talk about that. I'm going to have to do some more investigation. Yeah, that don't even sound right. And also it could be just one chapter, right? Because there's like a whole bunch of different chapters. So it's like, are we talking about the mothership, or are you talking about, the little satellite BLM organization? So I have to dig into that and see what's going on. Emmys. Black liberals are complaining because no black people won an Emmy this year. I can't wait to give my take on that. We gotta talk about the Nicki situation. Obviously the border crisis. And that's I'll have to go through the topics, but those are the main ones.
So I have an interesting take on the whole Emmy thing. It's actually a story. So my old coworker, Dennis, he's a black man. He was probably he was very tall and he was big. He and I became very, very close, really good friends. Before he worked in HIV/AIDS as an HIV tester, he did acting, and he was actually lived in DC in the slums in DC, somehow got to New York and ended up kind of making a name for himself, acting and doing different things like that, and music. So he was saying, we would talk about this type of stuff, and he would say, back then they always forced me to play these specific roles for black men, like the thug or this and that. And he's like, even though it wasn't my favorite roles to play, I took those types of jobs because it was work. He's like, today it's a little bit different. And he's like, but I also understand not wanting somebody to play, casting somebody to play a role that doesn't suit them. because there's specific roles that, are made for white men or made for black men, et cetera. And he was writing a screenplay at the time. He's like, I would have to cast these types of people because if I made it equal and open to everybody, it wouldn't display my story correctly.
Yeah. I believe you should be able to, if you want to make an all-white movie, fucking go right ahead. It shouldn't bother you. It shouldn't bother people, man. It's like the whole James Bond situation. Oh, we want a black James Bond. It's just like, why? Because people aren't creative enough to give you something else.
That's what I think too. I think, why can't you just make a spin-off of James Bond and kind of create it around a specific type of character and make it whatever color you want him to be, whatever. But reusing the same movies that they've been reusing for like a million years is so uncreative. It's just kind of stupid, because you can come up with a dope story where you have either a Mexican man or a black man or an Asian man or whatever it is as a similar role as James Bond, but call it something else and make it unique, make it fucking dope. Like, this is your time to really... You can cast anybody you want to be the lead character. Why do you have to replace the original Bond or replace the original whatever? Make it dope. Like, make it cool.
It's the money men. I don't even think it's the writers. It's the money men. The money men, because you're going to need somebody to invest in the film. You're going to need somebody that's going to be one of the producers. And the producers want to know that they're going to get a return. So if you come in and say, hey, we got a James Bond movie, we need $1 million. You're like, oh, that's a no-brainer. Right? Here's $1 million. It's James Bond, right? But when you come with a new concept, they're taking a risk. So the money men don't want to take a risk, and that's the problem. I
guess, but it's just, to me, it's just so uncreative, and it's kind of, and that's one of the reasons why I stopped going to the movies and watching it, is because it's like these remakes are just not even like, it's just whatever. But anyways, do I have anything to plug? I don't have anything to plug. I hit 100,000 subscribers on YouTube, so I'm going to get my check mark.
Oh, they give out check marks at 100K?
At 100K, you get a check mark on YouTube.
Wow.
Yeah, so I applied for it today. Twitter really, don't even get me started on that. Like,
Twitter won't give you one?
They won't, even though I've been featured in I don't know how many media pieces, they won't give me one. It's just like, people, like, my audience is getting scammed. Like, people are messaging all these people that aren't me, and it's just whatever. So, they say go where you're treated best, and right now YouTube is where I'm treated best, so I'm going to get my check mark.
I applied at Instagram and then didn't hear back, because I went down to Florida, hung out with Fresh and Fit, and Fresh was like, he does social media management. He's like, Hotep, why don't you try to get verified? You should be able to get verified. So I was like, all right, Fresh, I'll do it, bro. Just because, So I applied, and the first time I applied, I didn't hear nothing back. So I told Fresh, I was like, yo, I ain't hear nothing back. He was like, apply again. He said, go back in. If you see the screen there, then it didn't go through. So I said, all right. So I went back in, and the screen was there. I'm like, oh, okay. So it didn't go through. So I applied again. Yo, I got a response like an hour later, like, nope. I was like, oh, shit. Damn, I didn't qualify that fast. Like, who the fuck was doing the check?
The centralized social media platforms need to do something, because it's just getting so out of hand. It's very frustrating. But yeah, that's all I have. And thanks for coming on my show, Hotep.
Yeah. You're stupid. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me.
Bye, everyone. Have a great evening. We'll see you next week, and make sure to watch Hotep Been Told You tomorrow night.
Yep, we'll be here.
Bye.
It's Thursday. You're tuned into
Save the date if you not fake. HJ got a plate and a hot take. They gon' get you moving right. These goofy types keeping unks goofy tight. Look, let's get it lit like a Lucy, aight? Show the world what we can build when the crew unite. And while these frauds out finessing your protests, I'm in the gulags playing chess with the Hoteps. The Hotep's been told you. Don't sweat, bruh, I ain't gonna hold you. Keep receipts for the things that they told you. Ears to the street, they got secrets to go through. The Hotep's been told you. Don't sweat, bruh, I ain't gonna hold you. Keep receipts for the things that they told you. Ears to the street, they got secrets to go through. Hotep and build, y'all know the deal. We go in for real and ain't got no chill. Teach me how to grip, teach me how to grip.